Hey guys, my name is John, and today we're going to take a walk down memory lane with me growing up in elementary school and playing this game on either the Apple IIc or Apple IIe computer. It is Oregon Trail. Many of us remember this game from growing up in school. It was an educational game, a lot of fun. Let's take a closer look. Okay guys, I am here in front of my Apple IIc computer. This is the original computer I had growing up. I had to wear this shirt too, kind of in memory of this game. This is an awesome shirt for sure, but let's take a closer look at the computer itself. Talk a little bit about the history about the computer, but let's definitely do a review over the Oregon Trail. Okay, here is the Apple IIc computer itself. Came out in 1984, retail for $1,300, lasted until about 1988. It was a successor to the Apple IIe computer. Wasn't nearly as popular, unfortunately, but still, nevertheless, it's a great computer. Good educational computer, and it had a whopping 128 kilobytes of memory. Wow, that's a lot of memory. Here is the monitor itself. This is a color monitor. Some of the monitors were green monitors, where they just show green text, which is what my shirt depicted. And here's a dot matrix printer, really old school, and printer itself. So it also comes with a couple things. I have a joystick that you can hook up to it, and it also has, let me grab it, a mouse, one-click mouse as well. Okay. Now the games, in case you're wondering, are floppy disks, and they come out of here. Here's the Oregon Trail itself. All right, and it just plugs in like so. So every once in a while, you have to flip the disk over as well. Okay, and then on the back is where everything hooks up. This is your power thing right here, and you got a stand, empty stand. Okay, and as far as the monitor goes, this is on/off right here. Okay, so let's check out some gameplay. The Oregon Trail game was developed by 3 student teachers back in 1971, Don Rultich, Bill Henneman, and Paul Dillenberger. The game was produced by MECC, M-E-C-C, back in 1974, and it was really made popular by the Apple computers in their early 80s and was used for educational purposes. There's definitely a scoring system to this game, so you can make the top 10 scoring board, which is pretty cool. So the object is to obviously survive the Oregon Trail, to complete it, and to score as many points as possible. There are many options that you have to choose before you even start your adventure. You have to decide what you want to be, what occupation. You can be a banker, you can be a farmer, a carpenter. Each one starts with a different amount of money, different amount of food, and each one has a different scoring system. So the banker would have more money, while the farmer would have more food and less money. So it's kind of different, challenging. You have to name 5 characters in the game to choose from. So here I am naming my 5 characters in the game. Another important decision is to decide what time of the year you would like to take off on your adventure. If you leave too early, there may not be enough grass growing to feed your ox later on. And if you leave too late, you may not arrive into Oregon until winter time, and that can get cold and cause a whole bunch of issues later on in the game. So it's really important to pick the perfect time of year. I'm going to decide May, kind of pick in between. I think April probably is the most ideal time to leave, to be honest with you. You also need to purchase supplies before you leave, and it's important to pick enough supplies. I'm the banker, so I have $1,600 to choose from. It's the most of any character and occupation you have in the game. You can only hold up to 2,000 pounds of food, and there's definitely limited item space you can have, so it's really important to strategically choose the right amount of items you need. You need clothing, ammunition, obviously, to hunt, and spare parts in case something gets broke on your way, on your adventure. I love the music in this game. Let's listen in on it. After we're done listening in on this fantastic soundtrack in this game, we have a couple options. We can continue on trail, and we can change our pace. It's important to realize grueling pace is more rigorous, and you might go through more food a lot quicker. So I'm going to choose that anyway, just for time purposes. On your adventure through the trail, you're going to come across forts, you're going to cross rivers, landmarks, and there are going to be points where you have to cross the river. It's going to tell you how wide and the depth of the river is. So you have several options. You can either attempt just to ride across, you can caulk with a wagon, you can pay for a ferry, which takes some days, can get kind of pricey. I'm going to try to caulk it, and it didn't work very well. I lost 9 cents of clothing, almost half my clothing, 300 pounds of food. That's definitely brutal. But I survived to live another day in this game. That's another thing, you can actually die in this game. A number of diseases, dysentery, diabetes, measles. Fortunately, gonorrhea is not one of the options. In the bottom menu screen, you can see the weather, you can see my health, you can see the day, how many pounds of food I have. Oh, and my wagon caught on fire. I lost 833 pounds of food. Wow, I am down to 700 pounds of food. It is definitely time to go hunting, which is a fun part of the game. This game is kind of tricky to line up your gun because you only have about 8 angles to choose from as far as where to fire. You can shoot deer, as I just did, and there's squirrel, there's rabbits, there's buffalo. Later on, there are bears that you have to fight and kill. But one thing to keep in mind, you can only carry about 100 pounds of food back with you, unfortunately. So that is definitely a bad part. So here I am. Let's see how many pounds of food I've caught. I've caught almost 1,000 pounds of meat. However, I can only hold 100 pounds back, which doesn't make sense because if you can carry 2,000 pounds in your wagon, why can't you take that all with you? I guess they did that for more challenging. So here I am arriving to a fort. Let's take a rest. And it's important while you do your venture to every once in a while rest a couple days and keep your health at least fair to good. The Oregon Trail game was very successful in North America among schools for educational purposes, and because of that, MEC decided to carry on the tradition with a couple spin-off titles. One was Yukon Trail, the other one was the Amazon Trail. Both games are interesting and great games themselves, but nothing beats the original Oregon Trail. Here we are at Chimney Rock, and that's another thing I really like about this game are the landmarks, the pictures that you have, the music. I remember being blown away playing this game back in elementary school and really looking forward to it playing it during history class in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. My health is fair. I have plenty of food. I've got 86 miles to go. It's pretty hot. It's in May. It's summertime. We're approaching this fort. Let's stop and rest and check it out. Oh, we got to actually flip over the disc before we do so. So remember how I mentioned that the disc you had to flip over? Let's do that and continue our adventure. Here we are at Fort Laramie, and we're greeted from some Indians. We have some friends we can talk to as well, and we can talk to the local people. We can attempt to trade if we need some items. We can change our food rations as well, which is an interesting option so you don't burn through as much food. You can look at map, etc. so forth. You can also rest. So we have 190 miles until I reach the next destination. And I found some wild fruit, so I got some more food, which is great. So along the way, not only do bad things happen, but good things can happen to you along the way as well. Here we are at the South Pass. We've got about 1,500 pounds of food. We've traveled almost 1,000 miles in total. Weather is cool. Health is fair. I think we can probably continue on. However, if someone does get sick or if one of your members does break a leg or something, and they feel under the weather, it is a good thing to rest and make sure they feel better because you can die in this game, as I mentioned. And here is an option. This is pretty cool. Every once in a while, you have a choose your own path. You don't really know which path might be easier. One might be shorter, but here's a map. We're about halfway through our quest to Oregon from Kansas City area, and we're going to continue to the Green River. This game has been ported not only to the Apple II computer. There's 5 additions to this game actually, and it's actually available on Windows as well. Not only on computers, you can play this on your mobile phone, and as of 2009, last year, you can play it on the DSiWare as a downloadable game for your DSi, which is kind of interesting. So it's still a very popular game even today, but back then, I definitely have fond memories playing it back in school. We're going to fast forward here, and we've made it to Columbia River. We're at the near end of our adventure. And I have 2 options. I can either float down the river or I can take a toll road. This is definitely floating down the river is the way to go. So I'm going to decide to do that. You have to you control with pushing left, right on the keyboard. This whole game is controlled on the keyboard, not using the joystick. And I crashed into the side. I've lost 2 oxen, 500 pounds of food. That's brutal. But we're cruising. And it looks like I've missed the port to get off, and that's a terrible thing because I've lost most of my bullets. I've lost 29 pounds of food. I'm nearly out of food. We have made it in fair condition, but the good news is that we've all survived, and there it is, Willamette Valley, Oregon. It's beautiful. It's definitely, the music is happy. We've made it, guys. I personally have some relatives who've made the Oregon Trail. I have some actual a hammer and some artifacts from the Oregon Trails that have been kind of family heirlooms that passed down, so I can definitely appreciate what they went through, and by playing this game I even appreciate even more. So here's a breakdown as far as the points go. I've had all 5 of my members are in fair health, worth 2,000 points. I've got 6 oxen, too many bullets to know what to do with. I've only got 11 pounds of food of the original 2,000 pounds of food I started with, and spare wagon parts, got plenty. I got almost all my clothing. I bought some along the way after I lost some. So let's flip it over the disc and see what we have as far as top 10 score. Yes, I made the top 10 scoreboard. I managed to avoid dysentery, didn't get robbed. We made it all to one piece. Thanks for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate you guys subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.